Today we are going to do a different upload than the usual. We're gonna do a bit of grinding behind the scenes and also a bit of talking about the rumors, the thoughts that people are having about Classic MapleStory, which is coming up pretty soon. I believe towards the end of 2025 or early 2026. Before we begin, I do apologize right away if my grinding isn't top notch at the moment. I am new to this map and I'm just, testing the waters with the platforms and all of that. But if we talk about today's subject, Classic MapleStory, I'm going to share a bit of my thoughts, a bit of what I've read so far and what I've seen and watched, what people are saying about the game, what they want the game to have, and what people don't really want to see anymore. So a bit of what I think. I'm gonna just jump straight to the subject: the dailies, the weeklies, the battle passes, anything related to that, which we are really used to nowadays with the modern MapleStory. It kind of feels like a job, right? It definitely feels like a chore of some sort. Get on the game every day. For me, it's 6 o'clock. Get in, do your dailies, then do your weeklies every week. Do your bosses with all of your mules, and if you are kind of pushing a second main, a third main, or even so, if you're just pushing a few mules here and there, trying to get those Arkans maxed out, which involves dailies. It used to be weeklies, but now it's dailies, and as well as your sacred symbol dailies, right? There's a lot of what people call fear of missing out, FOMO. And I hate to say it, guys, I love this game a lot, don't get me wrong. I will always cherish MapleStory, whatever it is, if it's the modern version or the classic vibes. I will always love this game. I will always probably play this game a lot as well. And what I wish that Nexon work on the next Classic MapleStory world is to avoid all of those dailies and weeklies. And I've seen, Coppersan's video mentioning having a dailies of killing a few mobs per day to get a few amount of XP, because we don't have the same amount of time as we used to when we were 10 years old, 8 years old, even 12 years old. We didn't have any credit cards, so we couldn't really, buy stuff to get a bit of a jump ahead of anyone else, which we'll talk about later, about the whole monetization situation. But I do not want to see any dailies, any weeklies. I don't want to see anything related to having to hop on the game and be like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this party quest, this daily, and so forth. And even though Nexon is a big company, it is a business at the end of the day, and they obviously want to make some profit out of the game. Having some sort of a battle pass will make absolutely no sense. I do not want to see that at all. I just, if you guys take a step back and think about this game, right? MapleStory. The reason why we all fell in love and all wanted to play this game is because you really wanted to jump into the game and just venture out, right? We didn't have the internet as we have today. Obviously, it's going to be much easier now. If you need something, or you're looking for a piece of item or cloth or any piece of gear you want, you can just look it up online and then go for it, right? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But back in the days, it was a adventure to get on the game and just play it, right? If they can replicate that without having any dailies, without having any weeklies, I will absolutely say that it's going to be a GG's. It's going to be a dub. But if they do put on any dailies or weeklies, I feel like people are not going to enjoy it as much. And what I'm super afraid of is for Nexon to put so many hours, so many efforts into this game, and then no one plays it after, say, 3 months or 4 months. Now remember, we are the casual or the daily players right now, right? So we are definitely gonna play it. But for those that only watch this content, or they just heard about it and they're like, oh, I really want to get back into this game and revisit this childhood memory of mine. If Nexon decides to put on dailies, weeklies, and battle passes, I don't think it's going to be a good success. I feel like people are going to say, you know what? If I'm going to be doing dailies and weeklies on MapleStory, why not just play the modern version instead? Because I'm already playing that, right? There's no way I'm going to be doing a daily on my main, and then on a let's say on a different mule, let's say 2-3 characters per day, dailies, and then hop on Classic MapleStory and be like, hey, I now need to do my dailies with my Classic MapleStory characters. That will make absolutely no sense. It's gonna burn out a ton of people, and even those old school OG players that really want to just try the game again, I feel like they're gonna be hooked in, and they will quickly realize that this is not for me. I'm not gonna, you know, I already have a job, I have probably kids to take care of, I have chores at home. I'm not gonna hop onto this game to have more chores to take care of. That being said, to finalize my thoughts and my expectation on the dailies, weeklies, and battle pass, I do not want to see that at all, and I just want to emphasize that I'm against it very, very strongly. And you know what, maybe in the future, if Nexon thinks about something, if they analyzes the game and they see the players having a hard time leveling up, they can either boost the XP amount that you gain from grinding, training like we used to, or they can potentially add a monthly quest or a monthly grind, which isn't gonna be that difficult. You know, let's say defeat 10,000 mobs, or maybe not 10,000, that's a little bit too much, but let's say 500 mobs a month, which is very doable, and it's not a FOMO situation where you're gonna be missing it out. You're gonna definitely, you know, get 500 mobs in a month if you're gonna be playing at least once a week. That's just give an example there. The other thing I want to talk about is the monetization. So one will say, how are you expecting Nexon to make any money and, you know, put more hours into it and just focus on the game's servers and everything related to having a good experience, right? NX Cash, guys, as blunt as it is, that's how they used to make money back in the days, in 2005 to 2015, let's say, before the Big Bang and everything else. I feel like that's exactly what they should stick with. If you want to, you know, pay to win the game, kind of just like it is like in other countries and other games, well, we do have credit cards now. We're all 30 plus years old, and we, you know, have the credit cards to buy those double XP coupons, or even buy those double drop coupons. I wasn't that, you know, I didn't spend too much time with the cash up back in the days. I definitely didn't have any money. I was still in school, and I didn't ask my parents for credit cards to buy stuff. I probably did once or twice for like Christmas, and potentially bought some like fashion story gear. If the company wants to make any money, I would strongly recommend to just stick with NX Cash. If people want to buy drop coupons and double XP coupons to like ease up their grind, so be it. They can do it that way. Having a battle pass, I mean, you can definitely, if you want to spend money and buy the battle pass, but again, that comes back to the events and the weeklies and the dailies. So if they can just stick with NX Cash, I don't think the game needs that much of like update like this one does, right? This one has events every 2 months or so. So definitely does need a lot of work, a lot of coding, and a lot more money to put into the game. But if Classic MapleStory can just create the game as it is, and then potentially every few months, 4, 5, 6 months, like it used to be, then have a few minor changes for, you know, getting the game better, less laggy, I think the NX monetization will be plenty enough. I do hope so. And again, people are going to buy a lot of NX gear. I am pretty sure I'll be part of that as well, just to help that company. And also, why not have a bit of fashion story? Now, the other topic I kind of want to talk about is the events. Now, I'm going to try and dig in my memory to remember what events used to be back in the days. The one that I really remember is when they had this yellow bar on top with some letters saying, hey, there's going to be a double XP event September 26th from 8 to 12 p.m. Make sure you log in to have a little bit more XP grind, right? So that's the thing I remember the most. I probably missed a lot because I was in school, and probably because I wasn't aware of those things, right? I was pretty young still. I'd say like 8-9 years old, and I wasn't that, you know, keen of what's happening. And again, internet not being the best back in the days, I wasn't aware of a lot of things. So event wise, keep the double XP thing, keep the double drop thing as well. Potentially have some like GM events, special items, limited items only, things that will bring the community back together for just having that nostalgic feeling of being in a certain map, talking with some friends, comparing your gears if that's a thing, trading, which will definitely be something very important, which again will bring me to the other topic of the free market and the auction house. When I started playing MapleStory again a few years ago, I didn't play in the Chronos or Reboot servers. I played in the interactive world just because that's what I was accustomed to. And I tried the auction house. I see the potential of having one, and I see how people potentially love that in the interactive worlds. I feel like that's good. It's gonna ease up the thing, but I feel like it shouldn't be a priority as soon as the game launches. Potentially like a year later or something like that, just to test the waters with the free market, see how the servers are gonna hold up with channel 1 free market. Because let me say, that channel broke my PC a few times. It literally broke my PC a few times, and I had to buy new PCs just because I was so stubborn to get to channel 1 and buy that set of Illibees, let's just say. So play around with the free market. That's something I really do miss. That's part of the interaction, and also a really good learning curve for people to be able to negotiate some gears and even have a way of talking to. I think you could talk to people back in the days as well. So, you know, free market, the auction house, definitely something I wouldn't mind. And something else that I wouldn't really mind as well is how you can drop it. I heard this is actually pretty confirmed, where archers and thieves, specifically assassins, can hit mobs even if they're close range. I have kind of a mixed feeling about that. For you to hit with your bow or your crossbow and your claw, made that it makes it that it's nostalgic MapleStory. For them to remove that, I get the idea. It's, you know, easier for everyone. It's just simplicity. It makes more sense. But if you really think about it, it's kind of taking some nostalgic vibes away from the game. If all the characters have a double jump, if all the characters have some sort of a, I don't know, something similar to each other, for example, iframes or origin skills, the bind, all of those skills that are really like normal nowadays. If the classic MapleStory have some sort of the double jump for every character, I don't think that it's gonna work out, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that's removing again the nostalgic feeling, the vibes of the game. I mean, the reason why you would make a thief was for the assassin skill. I mean, the haste skill, right? So you can just jump around quicker. That's why you get hired in those party quests. And I would hate to see that every characters will have some sort of a double jump or some sort of a skill that makes you walk and jump higher. So I hope that they're not going to do that as well, keeping every classes, every jobs specific to each other. Same goes for the mages, right? We're going to have the ice mage, the fire mage, and the cleric. The reason why cleric is going to be so damn popular is because of the healing, right? So if all the characters have some sort of a skill that will allow them to heal, just how like the paladin has today, I don't think that's going to be a successful approach once again. Those are just a few of my thoughts and my expectation of the game, to keep it as close as it is as what we used to have back in the days. I just don't want too many changes, and some of you might just disagree with that, and I really do hope a lot of you will comment down below and share your thoughts. What do you agree and disagree with? Maybe I'm just haven't really thought about this. I'm just hopping on today and I decided to talk a little bit about the game. No script, no nothing, just my raw thoughts and expectation of the game. The last topic I want to talk about, and I do appreciate all of you that are still sticking in with my thoughts here, is the party quest. Currently, there are some people who are talking about having multiple entry for the party quest. I do like that idea, don't get me wrong. I think that would make much more sense since there's going to be a lot more players than before. A lot of people are going to come back, and this I'm kind of curious to see if the servers are going to be okay, knowing how Nexon goes with maintenances and updates and launches. It's going to be a tough one, that's for sure. But the party quests, I feel like having only like potentially 3 to 5 entry per channel will keep that nostalgic vibe. And not only for the sake of keeping it nostalgic, but if you think about this deep down, what made party quests so demanding? What made it that you really wanted to do a party quest? A, the XP, definitely. B, the fun of it. I remember Ludibrium party quest and the Kerning PQ, they were fun, right? But if you remember Romeo and Juliet party quest when you're like level 55 or 65 plus, that one wasn't that fun. And the reason why is because people went there to just grind. They would stay at the last few stages and just train. And that's honestly, I didn't like it that much. I kind of felt like I had to do it to not miss out. Again, the FOMO approach of missing out. If you are, you know, those levels 65 or plus, everyone was doing that. And it kind of broke the magic of party quests for a little bit. I don't remember if there was any other party quest after the Romeo and Juliet one. You know, if you do have the Carnival party quest, the CPQ that we forever will remember, that one was meant to grind because you just collect points, and whoever had the most amount of points will basically win and have a little bit more XP. So that one made sense, but the Romeo and Juliet didn't make any sense. So again, if they can keep the amount of entry to potentially less than 5 so that people have that, oh, I really want to do this party quest, I really want to stay in this channel, in this lobby, talk to some people, make some new friends while we wait to enter the party quest. I hope Nexon will keep it like that. I mean, I don't know, we'll see. A lot of people are going to say that it won't make any sense because, hey man, there's a lot of players and we all want to do some party quest. I think it's just gonna destroy some vibes. So at the end of the day, if we take a look at all of this, what will make or break this game will definitely be how they approach everything when it comes to the players, really. If they can listen to the players, if they can feel what they need to do to succeed in this business idea, the Classic MapleStory, is definitely to listen to the players, to do some try and errors. And when I say try and errors, I mean like go slowly with the game. Introduce a few things. Don't introduce every classes, such as the pirates and I think Dual Blade, and even Aaron was slowly getting into the game. I feel like if they can just slowly introduce things, it will make much more sense, where they can just delete something if, you know, it doesn't turn out to be a good idea. And I really hope that this game does come out at the end of 2025 and I won't have to wait too long. There's a lot of new games coming out early next year and also at the end of this year, so it's going to be fully packed. I will definitely be doing a lot of content when it comes to Classic MapleStory, a lot of streaming as well, since it's going to be heavily training related to that game. So why not just stream and just play this game, grind it, because I rarely grind with Chagastu right here. I'm doing this because this is literally the last day to get my creme glacé at level, only sitting at level 240. So last day to do a bit of grinding. And also it's been a while since I've sat down and talked freely about my thoughts and my expectation about this beloved mushroom game that we all fell in love with. I hope you guys did enjoy this a little bit of a chatting session here. I really want to know your guys' thoughts and expectation of the game. Will you be playing this game? Will you stop playing the modern MapleStory to just hop on the classic like forever because it's gonna be such a successful game? Or will you be balancing both? Because honestly, I have no idea how I'm gonna manage to balance both games. It's probably gonna be heavily invested into the classic world, but we'll see. Hope you guys did enjoy this one. If you did, give it a thumbs up, do subscribe, share with some friends. And as always, this has been Noori, and I will catch you guys on the next one.